Over the past 24 hours, there has been a lot of discussion circulating on Twitter regarding Upin and ongoing business restructuring involving Shanghai Rongsheng Co. As part of this change, Upin is reportedly adjusting its fee structure, and this doesn't just affect direct buyers and sellers, it also impacts proxy purchasing, where fees are expected to increase by roughly 1% as well. And for those who are confused on what proxy purchasing means, is using a third-party agent or service to buy something on your behalf, common for international stuff like Upin or Buff. So what does this actually mean for the skin market? In theory, when marketplace fees go up, prices almost always follow. Sellers need to offset higher costs, and that pressure gets passed down to buyers. Even a 1% increase might not sound like much right now, but when you're dealing with high-value skins in large volumes, that difference adds up very quickly. Over time, this can push average prices upward across the board, but I think the situation goes much deeper than just the marketplace fees. A huge portion of the CS2 market is controlled by Chinese buyers and sellers. We don't know the exact number, but a realistic estimate would be put it somewhere around 60 to 70% of the market, and that's being influenced or owned by China. Historically, the North American and EU markets tend to follow China's lead. When prices rise in China, they almost always ripple outward, so if Chinese marketplace starts seeing inflated prices due to higher fees or policy changes, those increases won't stay isolated, they'll affect every marketplace moving forward, no matter where you buy or sell. In short, if prices get pumped in China, we feel it too. Now here's where things get concerning. We've talked about this before, but what if Valve brings back something similar to the rare drop pool, except in a more aggressive or monetized form? What if rare or discontinued cases become obtainable through the Armory Pass? Potentially for something like 2 stars. If players suddenly have a reliable way to obtain cases like the Weapon Case 1, even in limited quantities, that would absolutely nuke the market. Prices would collapse almost instantly due to sudden increases in supply. The 6x1 AK Case Hardened Blue Gem will be much more common. This change was likely influenced by gambling regulations, but I don't think that's the whole story. Back in July, I covered a leak involving bidding with the Armory Stars. What if that leak is connected to what we're seeing right now? Imagine a system where players list items for bids are placed using the Armory Stars, old cases, discontinued items, or even skins rotate through the bidding system. At that point, CS2 essentially becomes a built-in eBay-style marketplace, fully controlled by Valve. We don't know the exact intention yet, but everything happening right now feels very connected. We've also just received our first sealed Genesis terminal not too long ago, and historically, when Valve introduces items like this, they don't stop at just one. This could also be seen into multiple sealed terminals over time with new skins, and I don't like that overall. But this shows that Valve is restructuring how skins enter and circulate within the economy. If prices do rise, I do believe certain collections are positioned better than the others. In particular, Support and Field Collection, Overpass 2024 Collection, and all old rare collections that have been gone over time, like Operations. But talking about Support and Field and the Overpass 2024 Collection, these collections have been in the game for a while now in the Armory Pass, and I feel very soon that the Overpass 2024 will be removed from the Armory Pass, but it will only exist as a souvenir package moving forward. That supply cutoff alone makes it a strong candidate for long-term appreciation, but that should be its own separate video. If you remember the workshop terms update, we actually got a sneak peek into what might be coming next. Themes like Arabesque art and Arabian mythology strongly suggest a new Anubis themed collection. The original Anubis collection was already removed, and the more I think about it, the more convinced I am that we're heading towards an Anubis collection 2026, which also means we'll also get a souvenir collection out of this. And here's my prediction, and I'll say it just now. Anubis will be added back to the active map pool, and when I asked the community what they want to remove, the most common answers are Mirage or Dust 2, but these are the most played maps. Valve loves engagement, and the most played premiere map in December was Mirage, so removing Mirage doesn't make really much sense. If Valve really wants diversity, they'll either remove the lowest played map or one that's due for a refresh. Train was just reintroduced, Overpass was also added recently, and Overpass ranks second to last in the play rate. Nuke sits third to the last. Out of all of them, Nuke feels like the strongest candidate to be removed right now, especially if Valve is planning a new collection for it in the near future. But I want to know, what map do you think is getting removed? Drop in the comments down below. My guess is that Spy and Tech will be replacing the Sport and Field collection moving forward, but moving on. I won't go too deep here because Flary already covered it in his latest video. Don't want to repeat myself, but it's worth mentioning that some skins leaked as far back as 2021 have been slowly appearing in the game over time. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of those leaked skins ends up in either the Spy/Tech or upcoming collections for the new Anubis collection. I could be wrong, but Valve has a long history of slow burn implementation. Since the trade-up update, red skins, especially over time, have become significantly more expensive, and as long as Valve doesn't drastically change case drop rates, holding long-term red still looks relatively safe. That said, if Valve does mess with the Armory Star system or case accessibility, that could change everything. Some factory new reds are insanely expensive right now, largely because factory new gloves are absurdly rare, but we've seen this before. Valve could introduce another case in the future, maybe not 2026, but eventually. That reintroduces those gloves similar to how Dreams and Nightmares brought back butterfly knives and made them more common. So the real question is, do skins continue climbing due to higher fees, limited supply, and Chinese market pressure, or does Valve introduce a system that floods supply and causes a major correction? Personally, I think we'll see price increase first, volatility later, depending on how Valve handles the Armory stars, cases, and bidding mechanics. I'll see you guys in the graveyard. Peace.